Okay, so I guess we're starting to record. This is our playthrough of AI, the Somnium Files, the Nirvana Initiative, which is the sequel to AI, the Somnium Files, which two of the three members or most prevalent members of the Video Game Academy enjoyed. Um, Only had a 66.67% rating on our Rotten Tomatoes scale. Since Ben was not a fan. Good. How have you been? Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're putting it kind of front and center. Um, it's this is another game by Kataro Uchikoshi, who the first, I guess, visual novels that we played of his were the Zero Escape series. So you had 999, Virtue's Last Reward, and Zero Time Dilemma. Um, and in those, I guess, like technically you probably didn't have to. No, you would have had to play the first one for the second one to make sense, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and yeah, you're right. They bring it front and center at the very beginning of the game, because as soon as you start, um, you're just like thrust into this like game show type uh, game, right? And they're asking you questions, and it's a tutorial of sorts. But they ask, do you know anything about the Cyclops killings and that kind of stuff? And you actually have to like give names. They don't even just take your word for it. You have to actually put in the names of who got shot in their leg, and I guess who was the Cyclops killer, which is interesting. Neither could I. I had to look them up. Yeah, obviously I don't know if there's been any changes, although I did play it once without getting those questions correct, and then I did it again. I was like, well, I don't know if this is going to screw me like down the line. I might as well just like start a new save file. And so I did get them correct, but at least until you get to the first Somnium, there's no difference, at least none that I noticed, if you get those questions right or not. Yeah, and then well, I was going to say another thing is, we're playing as like a new protagonist, right? You're playing as Ryuki, I think his name is. Uh, anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, yes, yes. she's back from the first game as the leader of Abyss. Um, but yeah, no, it's very. I was very disoriented, but it also kind of dragged me into the game. I always like those fourth wall breaking experiences, like you said, when it gets the distorted voice, and I think there's like even like a female voice that says like we're talking to you right now, not obviously implying us. So, um, but yeah, I did appreciate the fact that you don't necessarily well, assuming that they're telling the truth, and you don't have to have played the first one. Um, then that's great. Although I'm not sure like whose radar this would be on if they didn't play the first one. I wonder how much of how many people didn't play the first one and are just playing the second one. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good way to get you like completely engrossed in the game. Yeah. Lots of questions after the tutorial. Yes. Quick time event. Yeah, and so we, as you said, like Iba's back from the first game, another returning character, and she had skills in that game. I'm not sure entirely what they are, but now you have the power to X-ray, and so you're kind of hiding behind some structure or a wall somewhere, and you use the X-ray to see where the person is shooting from. Um, and Iba helps you and says, "All right, well, you need to like shoot a bomb at them." With your evolver. So you do that. Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. There's like a ton of different uh I can't think of the word ammo that you can use. So I wonder if we're going to be using all of those ammos throughout the game. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes. It and you know, as we're about to find out later on, it's we learn that the whole reason why Mizuki was even in the stadium in the first place was because she got a random text from an unknown number that said, I believe, like HB, come to the field or something like that. Um, and so, yeah, like after we get rid of the masked woman, that's when we discover the half body of I forget what his name is. What was his name? Hold on. E- Wait, hold on. It's yes, Jin Furu. Yes, and so we discover his half body. Very, there's no blood around it. It's literally as if he was just split completely in half and placed in the middle of the field. Um, yes, it yeah, like there's a supernatural quality to it. I mean, with the Cyclops killings, I don't recall ever thinking, wow, like this is supernatural, right? Like a parallel dimensions and that kind of stuff. It was a interesting modus operandi, but I never thought like, oh yeah, like this is supernatural. It could have been. I always assumed that the Cyclops killer was human. I guess I should say. Yes. 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 Right. Yeah. No. Yes. It's the. I'm looking at the question right now. It's the Taoist symbol shaped like interlocking black and white commas. So yeah, so I guess we discovered the first half. It's in the middle of the stadium. Unfortunately, Mizuki, or unfortunately for her, Mizuki, uh, she was there when the first half of the body appeared 6 years ago, and that's when we go back to the game show, um, which is apparently where that body first appeared. Hmm. That sounds right. Yes. Hmm. Yes. Yeah, we figure out. Oh yeah, yeah, the host with the giant blockhead. Yeah, I like that. I have no idea the significance of it. I It's always so weird when these games, obviously you have Mizuki with her weird supernatural powers, and they take some liberties, but the square head just makes no sense. Like I don't understand how in this universe that makes any kind of sense. I feel bad for um, his mother. That seems like it would be extremely painful. I do not think a square block fits through a round hole, but okay. Um, but yeah, so we go back to that, and as the game show's going on, the other half of the body, the lights go out, and the other half of the body appears in the middle of the set, um, with a sign that says "Fray to Free," and it has a QR code on it. Right. Yes. Yeah. Well, in 999, you had the whole group that was like free the soul. So these kinds of occults are par for the course, and these like Uchikoshi type. Now the effectiveness of these cults is a bit lackluster. They don't usually seem to turn out to be. Well, I guess in uh, Zero Escape they were pretty successful. Yes. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, and I forget if it was this one or the one in the field. They're also missing his molar. Yeah, and you were also playing the your sidekick um, is different. It's Tama. Yeah. So we have again, and it goes to the whole like yin and yang thing. Right now we have two different um, protagonists. It seems that we're going to be playing as, and that each of them has their own separate uh, eye companion. Yes. Hat. Yeah, it certainly seems like a much more, I would say, like matured, like maybe like a grown up Iba. If Iba was like maybe a teenager, right, or in the early 20s, it seems like Tata might be a little bit older than that. Um, but yeah, so we do that, and as we're investigating the body, it's extremely odd. I think we learn that the times of death for each of the separate bodies was only hours before they were discovered. So, mhm, yeah, and we're told that yes, and we're told that he doesn't have a twin. Um, that yes, yes, they do a very good job of just like some rare some just disposing of the yes, there we go, that's the word I was looking for. Dismissing those, right? Like you literally like have to ask about those like specific things, and it's like, yeah, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. um so if we're taking the game at face value, it seems like it's not any of the usual suspects, or what maybe you would like initially think is a possibility. I think they're supposed to. Hmm. Yes, yes, yes. Which, yeah, no, it's that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like the whole time I'm playing this, I was like, I guess he probably has a copy of that book. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I've I'm actually glad that I told you that it was on sale, and that like you started playing it, because that kind of motivated me to start playing it. It's just been on my backlog that I just haven't gotten to. But now I'm pretty hooked. I've been playing like an hour every day, so I'm further ahead than obviously like where we're discussing today. So I'm trying. There's some things that I know the answer to, uh, or at least a better explanation of. Um, but So I'm like I'm not sure. I'm like, oh, have we learned that yet? Have we learned anything about X, Y, or Z? But anyway, um, yeah, no. So far, the game looks extremely interesting. Which one? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I agree with that. I don't think I've only played through maybe a couple hours after this, and so far we have not learned anything else about him. I don't even think that we've encountered him. But one thing I would like to add, I don't know if you mentioned this, but right before you get to the uh, kind of introduction, right before the body actually catches on flame, um, Ryuki starts feeling bad, and like everyone turns blue again. So like as he like freaks out, and there's like a bunch of like Japanese text that it looks like he's just like spouting off. He looks deranged. So we do kind of have that happen again. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think the intent was. Hmm. Yes. 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 Yeah. It seems that the whole experience dealing with the half body, right? The HB, the half body killings, has just driven him to drink. I don't even know if he's working on the force anymore, but he's certainly like drowning his sorrows in alcohol. There's also interesting going back to kind of what you mentioned about like Indian religion. There is the Ganesha um, poster that's right there. The god of wealth, especially by merchants, is on the wall that he's sitting next to, and they make a point to point it out. Um, so I thought it was worth noting here. But yeah, so we go and we're trying to get answers out of Ryuki, and he's just wasted. He's not really doing anything. And eventually, in AI fashion, we said, you know what? If you're not going to talk to us, we're just going to go inside of your brain and try to figure this out. So that is so interestingly enough, the first AI that or the first Somnium that you go into is Ryuki, who we've already seen is maybe not the most stable person. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I again, I'm hopefully I'm not going too far in the future, but we do learn that like Ryuki was kind of like a prodigy, like extremely intelligent, and was recruited like super early on. Um, like he was super young when he got recruited, so yeah, maybe he just has like a natural ability. I guess similar kind of like to Mizuki, who has these like supernatural abilities. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. 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 It'll be interesting to go back after that we complete the game to see all the hints that are inevitably like in there. Right. Yep. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's getting out of this sink is a good place to yeah. Well, then I guess it's a very good place for us to stop, unless I wanted to do all the heavy lifting and spoil some of the like next parts of the game for you. But yeah, no. Uh, well, one of the reasons why I told you the answers for the quiz show is like I was afraid that I was going to get spoiled looking them up for like other stuff because I've made that mistake before, like looking up something for like VLR and it spoiled kind of like the ending um, for that. So it's like whenever I know someone might need information from a game, it's like I'll text you. That way you don't have to look it up and expose yourself or potentially expose yourself. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't played AI in a long time. The first one, I don't recall it being as immediately gripping as this one. I think part of it, I think this is a lot weirder to start off with, and there's like a lot more questions. I think there's also the aspect that we've played the first game and we knew that it was really weird, and it's kind of more of the same. So yeah. Anyway, I've been playing the game about like I said, like an hour a night whenever I get a chance. And so far it's been really good. I'm excited to play through it and discuss more of it with you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, do you have any other parting thoughts? The World's End Club. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I will say, if Ben is listening to this, there's not nearly as much fan service. Yeah, gratuitous great fan service. I mean, Iba and Tata are wear extremely revealing clothing and stuff like that, but there's not the overt sexual comments that are being made constantly. Yes. Yes, yeah. So far, and there also have not been nearly as many like references to old games, at least not that I've picked up on. All right, sounds good. I'll talk to you guys next week when I guess we'll figure out where to stop. You just let me know wherever you want to stop. All right, that's it for now. And